Chelsea have a new manager in place. And I'm going to start with the manager before we look at the signings they've made so far. Last week, when a lot of criticism came his way, he used three managers as excuses or as yardsticks. And there were Pep Guardiola, Arteta, Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, and Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. That the first few months they were in the job, things didn't go the way they planned, but the clubs believed in them and gave them time to get it all right. Now, earlier today was talking on Sky Sports, and they were asking him, okay, how long do you think it's going to take you to sort out this rot, to sort out the mess that Chelsea is right now? And he made a statement. He said he doesn't know how long it's going to take him. He doesn't know, he can't put a time frame to it, but he's going to keep working until he gets it right. And you look at modern day football, Chelsea in recent past, they don't give you all the time in the world to do this. Now, I have my theories about his response, but I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to start with you, Festus. Does that give you the confidence of a man who knows what he's doing, or he just wants to go with the flow, do his permutation until he gets it right?
Kali, I clearly don't think his answers were right. If he knows what he's doing, definitely before he accepted that job, he must have looked at the squad. He must have looked at the entirety of that team. And he must have looked at, okay, what am I expected to do? When am I bringing in my players? When do I think I should start effecting change? And when do I think those results should start showing? So there must be a time frame. There's nothing wrong in a manager saying, I need 5 years to do a total overhaul of this team and start getting the result. It depends on the management to accept or not. But you should have a time frame in anything. When you're taking over your responsibility, there should be a time frame for what you want to achieve when you think those results should start coming in. So for him to say, for him not to put a time frame to what he's saying, I don't think I accept that. But nevertheless, I want to still correct an impression a whole lot of Chelsea fans are making. What he did at Brighton is not a fluke. We saw a Brighton that was nothing, there was really nothing spectacular about Brighton, and we saw how he transformed that team. The kind of football they started playing and the kind of confidence he built in that team. So I don't think it's a fluke. I think there is something in there, and I think he needs time. But the truth is, there should be a clear plan. There should be a clear path. When do we start expecting that? He should say it, and we should start seeing the working towards it. Is he bringing in his players, the kind of players he wants, ball-playing players, because I know that's the kind of football he likes, but there should be a clear plan, 1 year, 2 years, for us to start saying that. That's what I think, Khalid.
But Eddie, is it realistic to put a time frame to things like this?
No, and the reason why I say so is because we have to be fair, to all the managers that we tend to. When we talk about, managers need time, we're really always talking about transfer windows, because transfer windows are where managers can actually start to create the team in their own image. And this is going to be the first transfer window that Graham Potter is going to have. And to be honest, the January transfer window is not really that transfer window that you actually make, team-changing alterations. What you're doing in the transfer window in January, you're really trying to consolidate on the team that you have, or you're bringing in a little bit extra just to help you, get over the line. So for Graham Potter, I know that Chelsea, when they looked at him, as that coach, they were looking at the model that Liverpool went down, young manager, coming to the Premier League and then transform, the fortunes of the club. Looked at what Pep did in Man City. Look at what Eddie Howe is doing in Newcastle. Look at what Arteta is doing at Arsenal. And you can see that, clubs now are thinking to themselves, maybe, we need to start, looking at how we actually build our teams going forward. So it's only been 8 games or 9 games that Graham Potter has played. I think that, it's very difficult right now without a transfer window coming to an end, a proper one and not a January one, that you can actually give a timeline as to when things will start to change. Because right now, until you get to the summer and you start getting in the transfers that you want, then you can start to see whether your plan is heading in the right direction or not. So for me, I think that let's wait till the transfer window. Let's wait till the summer. If in the summer he's still unclear about what he needs to do, then we can start piling the pressure.
But he was there at the start of the season, so he's already had a summer of transfers.
No, he wasn't.
He
He came in from Brighton. Remember, Brighton had already played a couple of games in the season before Tuchel, was sent out the door, and then he was brought in. I think it was after 5 or 6 games or so that they had played. We need to fact check that, but he had already started the season with Brighton before he came to Chelsea in the middle, of that run just before we went for the World Cup break. So he hasn't had that summer to really start to, think about, okay, this is what I want. And the reality is that I'm sure, when he did his, talk to the owners, this is what I'm going to do. He maybe has had an assessment of the players that are there. But one thing that you can't assess from outside is the character of the players. The personality, the attitude of the players. And sometimes that's even more important than even the talent there. You have to come inside and see, are these the players that are resilient in difficult times? You hear managers say, this is when I know who are the real players in the team, who are the leaders, who are the people that are going to actually drive this team forward.
What is wrong with Chelsea right now? The players they are signing, are those players going to deal with the issues at Chelsea? I can tell you for free, 2 problems the Chelsea side have right now. The moment N'Golo Kante stopped playing in that place, nobody could replace him. They had no grafter, nobody in the middle to break play for them anymore. So anybody could run through their midfield. Gallagher came into the side. He is not a DM. No matter how much he loves to go into the tackles and all of that, when the games come centrally, then there's a problem. So you don't have N'Golo Kante anymore in the side. I've looked at everybody they've signed. Nobody, no DM, no natural DM amongst the people they've signed. I've said something for a while. I said, the strikers are not the problem of that team. The team has lost its balance. And I don't think they are looking to addressing the balance in the team. You are bringing your Felix into the side. Oh, fantastic. Who are the ball carriers in the midfield that will feed your Felix? Because your Felix is not going to go and pick up the ball from center of midfield and come and score. He needs to be fed. Who are the players to do that? Why do you think Hakim Ziyech did so well at the World Cup? After having a very poor time at Chelsea, went to the World Cup, he was outstanding at the World Cup. He came back, he's gone back to his old ways. There's a problem because there's a balance. No matter how good your wingers are, no matter how good your forward players are, they need support from the guys behind them who are going to do the dirty work so that they have the freedom to roam. We've seen, I'll use an Arsenal as an example. Toward the end of last season, Arsenal were in the top 4, in the mix for the top 4. Tenny got injured, Partey got injured, Xhaka was moved to left back, and everybody started running rings around Arsenal's midfield. It was like a free whatever. There was a particular game that midway into the game, the manager had to bring Xhaka back to midfield and found someone else to go and play the left back position. Because the moment Partey left that team, they lost the balance in the team. So the man who gives Xhaka the freedom to do the box-to-box thing is no longer there. So he had to now come and be the big man and do the dirty job. And you know what happens to Xhaka when he sits back? He commits all kinds of fouls, and all of that. So Chelsea have lost something in midfield. Look at the big men they had in their midfield. Mason Mount is their best midfielder right now. The man is always injured. I don't know what's going on with his injury stories. But N'Golo Kante is no more there. Is it Joniho now is no more there? A lot of these guys are no more there. You've lost the balance in that midfield. And I don't think they're addressing.
I agree, and Kante was 1 of 1, right? And I suspect that Chelsea have a player that they've got in mind in the summer, and that's why I keep saying let's wait to the summer.
Why are you not going for him now?
No, but Zakaria is a defensive midfield player. He's come on from loan from Juventus, and I think
how many games has he played for Juve as a DM? None.
Well,
none.
He hasn't played He hasn't played, hence why he's come on loan, right? So clearly,
how do you
when you bring a player on loan, it means one or two things, right? The player that you either wanted, you can't get that player now.
Who is the player they wanted?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't seen any news talk about
what Chelsea. So what Chelsea is doing, the thing goal scoring is a problem, and they are running after wingers and strikers.
Well,
that's a problem.
I agree.
They also have a problem with goal scoring. They don't
have. You've lost the balance in your side. You will not score goals until that balance in midfield. Who is supplying the guys up front?
I agree that
everybody says Nketiah is not this, Nketiah is not that. Nketiah is playing in front of some good midfielders and is scoring goals.
I agree.
You need to first of all, you need to get it right in the middle. If it's not right, no matter how you put up front.
But the reality is that the midfield is the hardest place to get right, actually. It's the hardest part of the field to get right, because that's where you're looking for almost everything to happen. Your tempo. You want your tempo to be controlled by your midfield players. You want your passing, your creativity, your defense, that's the last line of defense between the ball, the opponent, and your goal, and also the bridge between what you want to do up front. So that midfield is always difficult. Look at how Man United kept trying until they found Casemiro, and now it looks like Rashford cannot stop scoring. Now there is an argument there.
The same, sorry, Eddie. The same Rashford that before now couldn't score goals. And it looked like they had problems scoring goals. But now they've sorted out that middle. Eriksen is able to play further forward. What's his name? Bruno is further closer to the strikers. Now Rashford is scoring goals. You need to sort out your midfield.
I agree. And I think that, but I can empathize with Chelsea in the fact that midfield plays. If you want to buy a good midfielder, you can't do it in the. And these are the things I don't agree. One of the best midfielders, one of the best midfielders in the league right now.
Forget about even if you talk about Odegaard, he came first of all in winter on loan.
But he came on loan.
Yeah.
Right?
So what you need to do is identify what you need and go for it. Not just everything that looks exciting out there, which is what Chelsea is doing. Look at Bruno Guimaraes. He came to Newcastle in the winter transfer window. That's one of the best midfielders in the league at the moment. One of the best utility players in the league right now, Kieran Trippier. He can play left back, right back, centre half, and he can play as a DM. He came in the winter. It's about knowing what you lack and looking for either what will fix it or what is close to fixing it. Which is what Chelsea is not doing.
I totally agree with you. Really, I totally agree with you. But I think Chelsea also lacks. They don't have good scouts, because I think they depend on who is in the market, who are other clubs going after, and they rush and bring in those guys, whether they fit into their plan. And this is it. This is the place I have issues. Does the coach work with the management in terms of bringing in these players?
Yeah, they do.
They are just buying everything, like you said. And okay, like in the attacking midfield now, they have a whole lot of guys there already. Yeah, Felix is good, but will Felix really make a difference? I really don't know. Let's see what happens.
I dare say this now, and I hope I'm wrong. Felix is going to be a flop at the end of the season.
Don't use your bias there.
No, I'm not. So I'll tell you this. I was one of those praying that Arsenal don't get Felix.
Why?
What has Felix done at Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, but I don't think that's always an indication.
No. Felix could have been
no, never. What has he done at Atletico?
We are looking for squad. Remember, that was the argument we had the last time.
So you're
Felix
looking for squad
to build our first 11.
So I'm sorry, but apparently I don't think you guys look at Edu and Arteta and the way they work. They're not just going to buy just anybody because we think we like them.
No, but
or because he just had a wall.
They could have brought him on loan to add up to that squad.
We don't.
We're interested in the player now.
Yes, but not at the price.
Yeah, not but price was the difference.
When this Real Madrid boy came to Arsenal, what's his name? I've forgotten his name now.
Don't Danny Ceballos.
Ceballos.
Ceballos, yeah.
Like him or not, he was able to do a job. That run to Arsenal winning the FA Cup, he did a job in that side. Because that period, to you, but it was so good, Arteta brought him back. And I trust Arteta more than I trust your judgment when it comes to football matters. So Arteta knew what he saw in the boy and whatever. Odegaard was not settled at Real Madrid. They kept sending him on loan. But we saw Odegaard at Real Sociedad and what he could do. So there was something there. And this man brought him into the side. Finally, we made him permanent. What I'm saying is, a manager looks at what he has. I think what's his name? Potter has gotten to a big club and he has forgotten about what worked for him at Brighton and Hove Albion. He had players who he was in total control of the team. One, players who had no ego. They just wanted to play football. Players who were ready to knuckle down and run for 95 minutes, not just 90 minutes. You have a lot of big boys at Chelsea. And I think he's misplaced. He's lost that identity of bringing in hard workers. Because you're bringing in Cucurella. I was wondering why they went all out to buy Cucurella. And I'm not right now. I see you buy Fofana at the same time. These are speed stars, but you're coming to a Chelsea side that isn't going to sit down and run.
I think it's just too early. Let's give him some time because, like you say now, you talk about having players that are hardworking, don't have ego. He's gone into a Chelsea team. He can't just get rid of the players that are there, right?
Oh, of course not.
These players were there before he got there. And, Cucurella, right?
Arteta got rid of Arteta after 8 games. Arteta got rid of Ozil after 8 games.
When you say got rid, he was still in the club.
He was
sitting on the bench.
It was in the stands, not on the bench. It was in the stands with umbrella eating peanuts.
It was in the stands, and yes, right. You're going to expect.
But he took him out. He took him out of his first 11.
Yeah, but he brought him back after the game.
No. He never played again after go and check. So what my thinking is just. I don't think Chelsea are being fair. I think because they have money to spend, and they just want to buy everything that looks good. So, and I think they're looking at the problems in a very shallow way. We're not scoring goals. Let's buy strikers. Timo Werner has left them in scoring goals where he has gone to.
And he was scoring before he came and started.
And he got there. And
now he has left his scoring.
Hakim Ziyech came to Chelsea, all of a sudden became a bad player. The same person that was the best player at Ajax, in their run to the semi-finals of the Champions League. He got to Chelsea. Well in the World Cup also. He came to Chelsea, didn't do well. He went back home, played at the World Cup, was one of the best players at the World Cup as far as I'm concerned. Now he's back to Chelsea. So there's something fundamentally wrong about the system at Chelsea. And that's what I think they need to. I think we've had enough about Chelsea. Hopefully, as an Arsenal fan, hopefully long may their problems continue. So that's a lot of bias for my part, and I'm speaking as an Arsenal fan right now.